We are working with young people, supporting them so that they can learn to say no and they can make sustainable decisions. This is again something that Patrick is a genius of. He really is very, very creative with ideas and passionate to help the youth, to help the world, and help ourselves and each other. Hi everyone, my name is Jyotika Bedi. I'm the founder of Happiness is Love, and today I have the honor to do a podcast with my professor, Professor Humphreys. Yay! Professor Humphreys is an emeritus professor of social psychology at the London School of Economics. He found and headed the course which I studied 25 years ago, MSc Social and Organizational Psychology. He also led the LSE RTD team on the EO CADEC project.
With
Several, of course, but this is the one that I remember. The cross-enterprise assessment and development of intellectual capital. I want to let our audience know that I remember Professor Patrick not as my professor, but as the person, the human being that he is. He was always helpful, altruistic, and available to all his students. His door was always open for all of us. I remember I would spend hours, not office hours, but outside of office hours, just talking to him. He shares his knowledge very freely. He has expertise in innovation, creative decision-making, decision support, and empowering ecosystems and enhancing resources for health, culture, development, and networking. Welcome, Professor Patrick. Thank you so much for doing this podcast with me.
Yeah.
My first question to you, I need your honest review on my book and which parts are your favorite and why.
Okay, thank you for the introduction, but you should think of me as Patrick.
Yes, I do think of you as Patrick.
No, everybody.
Okay.
This is Patrick speaking with Jodiki to you.
Yes.
And that's important because this is about what we have learned through our life and our trouble.
Yes.
Through life and how we can bring it with this.
Yes.
Jodika, this book is real, which is unusual because it is not about a fantasy story,
Yes.
not about an academic story, but about a life story which can also be for you.
Yes.
And so the people in there are real, and Jodika is a very brave author. Most people, professional authors, hide behind a pseudonym or preferably putting everything passive so they're not there.
Correct.
Yeah. In this book, Jodiki tells you a story from her life, the good parts, troubles, how she got through, and why she needs the things in this book became important and helpful for her. And in such a way, the book is written can be for everybody, for you too. Yeah?
Yes.
And so, while I'm a professor at LSE, the one thing she met me when I founded and was running postgraduate course on organization and social psychology, but I taught it, I could teach it my way.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
I had the freedom to do so because I was also head of the department.
Right.
So I could teach it my way, not the way I was told to, but how to do it my way. If I was an academic, I could help you publish and become famous academics. Well, a lot of people want to do that as academics. That's not me. I was at LSE because it was a good place.
Yes.
It's a good workplace.
Right.
But not a home.
Yes.
Yeah? Home is somewhere else. We can talk about that later.
Yes.
But my first priority was for the students.
Always.
Yeah? And that meant if I'm going to teach them, I'd learned a lot about how to work in organizational psychology and very strongly from bottom up, when the generation comes to the bottom, the people who do things. And so, and also then it makes you able to do things to help yourself and other people.
Right.
Yeah?
That's right.
So it's a bit difficult going from being a student to being that. And many people who become academics got the academic pathway, but what do they teach students for the real world? So I made a little promise to myself. I wouldn't teach anything unless I'd actually done it.
Yes, and you did it.
Which meant I had to find, as a result of that, I've worked with many friends all over the world, and I've worked in a real context of people facing real problems.
Yeah.
And so understand many industries, including nuclear power and things like this, in a completely different way from how they are presented, because I've been there.
Right.
And I've worked with the people, not telling me stories, but actually on their own work and how, where things, and wonderful things happened, and problems were solved in amazing ways.
Yes.
And they had to be. And the stories, none of that got in the media. So I learned that when you're working actually in the field, you need to know how to work.
That's right.
Not to whether you told one story and somebody else, academic, tells another story, and you get more citations for you,
yes.
or then the academic ladder. Just one thing I'm very pleased for, I've never applied for a job except the first one.
Yeah.
I've always only wanted some people to want me, and then decide whether I want to. And really, it's because I can play a good part with them. And that, if you like, is my life philosophy.
Beautiful. And what I love is that we have the shared vision, shared goal of the new world order, of the unified, loving world that we dream of. And I think that's why we have this creative chemistry, because we both have the same thoughts. We dream of a happier, more loving, unified world. And we have a shared vision of that dream.
And probably wherever you are, you also have that dream, but things get in the way.
Yes.
And they come from outside.
Yeah.
You get trapped in everything.
Yes,
you
that's
want
correct.
To be a good person, but you have to follow rules.
Right.
And so the fact that, by the way, to be everything this book promises, you are already enough yourself. And you also know there's nothing
you're special.
You have to learn.
Yes.
But this book can be a resource to help you not to be about yourself.
Yes.
You are yourself, but to be happy as yourself, and also to have a happy place in the world.
Happy place in the world. That's so beautiful.
And the other thing to know, the world which we're talking about is one world.
Is one world, one unified, loving world. Yes.
We don't make distinctions. This is a book for everybody.
Yes.
And so whether you are religious, belong to somewhere, or whether what your politics are, and all these things are relevant. Whatever they are, it is for you.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
And so we talk about things you do for yourself.
Yes.
And that is you in that world.
Yes.
And you can, you can go everywhere.
Beautiful. Yes.
The world, but that world is both. There's no distinction between the spiritual world.
Yes.
And the so-called physical world.
Yes.
That world is alive.
Yeah.
Because it's in your mind as well.
Yes.
And you're in it. It's one world.
Beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, because when you realize that, you can go anywhere. And also, we've written this book in such a way that, if you like, Tiki talks very much, often about herself, and often about how you, as an individual, can work those things yourself. And I say, as an individual, it doesn't matter if you are an atheist. You simply don't believe in any God.
Yes.
Yeah? And you have to do everything yourself, by the way.
Yes, that's important.
If you won't take that choice,
yes.
I'm still helping. This book still helps you.
Yes.
Yeah?
Very nice.
Then, in terms of being a person, if you have what kind of spirituality you have, it does not matter which or what religion you belong to.
Yes.
What matters is what you can gain from that spirituality.
Yes.
And so people in the world are both real, physical, and spiritual. There is no distinction, because it is actually the spiritual person who can see the world.
Yes.
Because for spirituality, you can say consciousness.
Correct.
Yeah?
Exactly.
You are consciousness whether you like it or not,
Is-
that is your spirit.
Yes.
You may believe the spirit is magical, you may believe it is very nice, but you may believe that God can help you. Have a God who can be your friend, your Amanchara.
Yes.
Yeah, and whatever you believe, it is for you, and you
Yes.
can use it in this way. This is not a book for sectarianism.
Yes.
Anyway,
Yes.
so whatever you are, the book and the ideas behind it can apply to you. And so it's difficult to read this book. I mean, I discovered this book. I learned things about myself. What did I learn? The most important thing when I found this book, it made me know it was special, and so is its author.
Thank you.
What was that it enabled me to take different parts of my life. I've been blessed to work in many different contexts in many different parts of the world. And so I also, as a result, in psychological terms, we have different identities in
Yes.
different places.
Yeah.
And so different reputations. Yeah. In fact, I had about 7. And I just didn't know how they went together.
Yeah.
I decided, and so I can teach many things, maybe my way,
Yes.
and I can feel safe. So
Yeah.
in those teachings, where as an academic, I don't feel safe. If I'm only giving a story in order to get a promotion, or
Yeah.
it will be a story which is not real, but is instructed for a purpose.
Yes.
And that purpose is not for learning. My idea of learning is something which you do yourself.
Self, yes.
Yeah? And you can use your energy and your ideas from your past, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And actually, you already are enough to do that.
Yes.
And this book can give you those. It's wonderful because for me, it gave me the resources to understand how to put the 7 parts together.
Yeah.
And to be more myself. When you ask, what am I?
Yes.
And, it's hard to explain, but I know through this who I am.
How lovely.
Yeah, and the same can be for you.
Yes.
And maybe I'm extremely blessed to have had a very wide variety of experiences that I bring together. But everybody has a variety of experiences, good and bad. And this book, whatever it is for you, because, like for me, in your special way, it's for you because it brings your things together.
Yeah.
And you do that in a world which is infinite, both in diversity and extent, which you can explore as you like, and is your world too.
Beautiful. I love it. And now I have the honor, and I feel so blessed that we are together writing a research paper. And the research paper is going to be a gift to ourselves and the world. Of course, the title I will not share much, but I would like you to know that we are working with young people, supporting them so that they can learn to say no and they can make sustainable decisions. This is again something that Patrick is a genius of. He really is very, very creative with ideas and passionate to help the youth, to help the world, and help ourselves and each other. And the concept that we have integrated is of anamkara. And I want you to just in a minute explain to our audience what does anamkara mean to you so that our audience can understand.
Yeah, Anamkara has a long history.
Mm-hmm.
It has across religions and across different places.
Yes.
But I am a Celt. I'm a Celt from Ireland, right?
Right.
And in my history, over the years, one wonderful thing about the Celts, even thousands of years before Christianity, which is why the version of Christianity, which my ancestor St. Patrick, another Patrick,
Yeah, another Patrick, yes,
to enabled to flourish in Ireland, was bottom up and was compassionate.
Yeah.
If you believe in it, I want to say one thing. If you believe in a God or whatever,
yeah,
which is not compassionate, or you are not, you don't want to be like that, or with somebody, with yourself, and you like and you think hate is a good idea, but why you do doesn't matter.
Yes.
This book is not for you.
Yes.
You're somewhere else.
Yes.
But that's all really. You believe in compassion, you may believe it just for yourself.
Yes.
Or you may have a God who also believes it.
Yes.
And you can talk with that God.
Mm.
Now, what's very important is that another thing about this is it's nice to have to do not to do everything for yourself.
Mm.
What you learn really is the easiest way to get trapped in overthinking is to think you have to do everything yourself. And I work in decision making in the real world, in many, many contexts. And I know we used to run, still do for that matter, groups of people who need to come together to make a decision. It could be high up in the industrial board.
Yeah.
And incidentally, we do creative things with them. People still love.
Yeah.
So I find they can be creative.
Yeah.
This normally doesn't happen here. So when discussions are not creative, but then there is a time when using very good process models, decision making, very nice ones. The one problem is this: you make a commitment at the end.
Yeah.
And we used to know our place where we did this at the LSE was on the 5th floor.
Right.
And we lasted for 2 days for working together and think you're really going somewhere.
Yeah.
But what happens at the end? The last 2 hours or so, people would make commitments.
Yes.
What they wanted to do to make this possible.
Right.
And you know perfectly well, by the time they walked down the stairs, by the time they were halfway down, oh my God, what have I promised? How am I going to do
What
this?
commitment have I made?
So we wrote if you stop there, well, you suddenly realise if you have a problem, you're lost in a sea of uncertainty.
Right.
About what to do.
Right.
And so the first thing we had to do was to make the implementation. How is it done?
Right.
And also, that is a social process.
Yes.
It's going to affect other people anyway. You need to switch. So overthinking, if you like, is something you do.
Yeah.
Before it is overthinking, when it is exploratory thinking.
Yes.
In a view, but we forget. Don't forget while you don't talk this that we're not talking about over there a world I have to act on, but a world I'm going to live in.
Yes.
That's what I'm living in right now.
Yeah. The world I want to live in. Yes.
But it becomes then when the group supports you and it feels very nice. But then you go away and you think you're left all alone.
Yeah.
You have the product of overthinking. You don't know if it's going to work.
Right.
You have no guidance.
That's correct.
You can't give it up because it's all you have.
Yeah.
And all the rest of your creativity has been now concentrated into overthinking. So overthinking, before it is overthinking, is sometimes important in making decisions.
That's right.
But you have to remember you're not making decisions on the world. You're making decisions in the world, whether you're there too, whether you like it or not.
Yes.
And so once you realize that, you understand how conventional process models. We're not saying we're a new ideology. We're not saying we're a new way of looking at the world. It goes back. One thing Judika mentioned, we were writing a paper together, which is only a first stage, because we are writing for people who want to read the book.
Yes.
And one of the easiest things they will ask is 2 things: whether we have a proof for them of value, and a proof of concept.
Correct.
So this book allows you to indicate, and so we need to tell a story about that.
Exactly.
So we tell that in a more conventional academic,
right,
because people are looking for it, and we want you to pick up your book and think, "Oh God, not another book."
Yes, yeah.
So first of all, because very often, mindfulness, which is a component of his, is so part of this is very, very popular.
Yes.
Which is a positive idea.
Right.
Except both books on mindfulness are treated, and you could see it, another self-help manual.
Yes.
It's more.
It's more than a self-help manual. Yes.
You have to know how you can make it more for yourself.
Right.
And then it's interesting. Maybe you want to buy it.
Yes. Thank you.
We want to make it available in different ways.
Yes.
But the first step is the beginning.
Yes.
If you have a nice real situation in which you also make proof of value, and how would you do that? You have the people who are actually in a situation themselves.
Correct.
Saying, you ask them afterwards, or you take them what they say as they work, but they actually say, this concept worked for me.
Right.
This is how, and this is how at this time, and it could. And also, there is another important. There's some very nice books on well produced on overthinking and self-help, and the bestsellers actually have. You read the content, it's very nice, but what happens is that people who read these books, if you look at their lives, you find the story. Yes, it was. Mindfulness helped me. Yeah. This book was very good to help me. But then I don't do it anymore.
Exactly.
Why not? Yeah. Because I tried that and it worked till that time.
Yeah.
Now, there's nothing more from it, from that book, which I don't know. Yeah. There'll always be more from this book, which you don't know, because it's all about how to access what you could know.
Wonderful. Well said.
That is open. That is what we call a rhythm. It's not a map. You explore the pathway with signposts.
Right.
But you make it infinite. That map is actually your map and it's made by you.
Yes.
This shows you how to make it. And it's always alive. And this is why this book is so important. But it's also why this book is completely true. In fact, it's based on real people, not hiding behind an academic screen like professor. So this is why I'm happy to podcast supporting these books. I don't do very many podcasts because they can be quite difficult to explain how I think.
But you're so wonderful the way you explain.
This I want to give to you.
Thank you.
And through this book, you can have it, as you said, you will discover you're enough. Yes. And this book is a very valuable guide. And actually, in this sense, there's nothing like it published.
Oh, that's so kind of you. Thank you so much, Professor. I'm so grateful to you. Thank you for being a beacon of love and light, not just to me, but to the whole world. I feel blessed. I feel special. I feel eternally thankful for just being connected to you. And I believe that together we will do great work. We will learn, we will grow, we will share, we will heal the world and make it a better place.
Yeah. By the way, I have to explain, as you start to explain, this book brought us together.
Yes.
We have accidents before.
Yeah.
It indicated we
right.
knew there was something that brought us together.
Yeah.
But we're different fast that time.
Yes.
She's a student who had to suddenly
vanish.
Yes. Because of problems at home.
Yes.
She had top priority at that time. And, I was a professor. But we met through talking.
Yes.
And you felt there was something special.
Yes.
And so when 30 years later,
yes,
Judy contacted me about something else.
Yes.
I suddenly realized that I did. So then she said she'd done a book. She said, yes, please, I like it. And then I realized something I should. We're both special, but I'm special in one way. If we work together.
Yes.
Yeah, together, we might be able to do something wonderful for everybody. And this book and what she talked about, the experimental work we're doing now, is just the first book about making that go beyond ourselves.
Right.
And there will be more.
There'll be more.
There will be more.
There'll be more. Stay tuned for more.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Professor. I love you. Thank you so much for being who you are, and stay blessed.
I love you too, and together I think we can do great things.
I think so.
For you, all of you.
Yes, for all of you, each one of you.
But you have to decide you want to take it.
Yes.
No instructions.
No instructions. This is a wonderful podcast. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed.